Check 1, 2.
Well, hello there, boyfriend. How are you this fine day?
I'm really good.
Is it working?
Yes.
Excellent. Let's not touch shit.
I'm afraid to ask, but I have a great question.
I don't even know what I was going to say. I'm so disturbed right now. Population, glaciers, why a boat would go and where it would go.
Keep talking.
Anything else I liked in Alaska?
Yeah.
Escape room sucked. It's so Fairbanks. The dating app, the girl only had, 6-to-1 ratio. She was doing pretty good.
I think we might have been talking about darkness. We're finishing up just saying how we miss the darkness.
Well, it rapidly affects your circadian rhythm within like a day. I was completely messed up.
Yeah.
You need that sleep-wake cycle to naturally have your melatonin flow. Your body actually creates more, right?
Yeah.
When you see that internal clock function, that's when you get tired. Your body senses cold, dark, quiet, boring, no blue light 2 hours before bed. That's why we tell people that.
Blue light.
Well, it's highly stimulatory, so it makes you kind of wired. You're like, woo! Oh. So you want to have like ways to slow down and relax. Even eating before bed, which unfortunately we do often, is really bad.
In my defense, though, honestly, I only do it when I'm high. No.
Wow. I meant all of it's stimulatory. Your body's winding down, and suddenly you throw food at it like crazy. You know, it causes what?
I love eating at night.
I know you do. I like to cut myself off after like 7.
Me too. Start again at 10.
No.
7 to 10. I fast from 7 to 10.
One of the worst ways to get heartburn is to eat late because your stomach is full. You have more acid production to fight off all the stuff that you've eaten, break it down. But the reflux against gravity is so much faster, more aggressive because your sphincter is just like, boom, open acid all night long.
I know I'm getting off topic here, but what is the one food? I know the answer. I just thought of it. What is your answer? I know that. What is the one food that if in your kitchen it should not be there, you will eat them all. It does not matter what kind of regimen you're on. What is the one food? I think I know the answer.
What I would say? Mm-hmm. What would I say?
Cinnamon bears.
No.
But that is one of them.
It is one of them.
Do you think that's I bought Erica cinnamon bears once, and she was like, they're like chocolate covered cinnamon bears.
Oh,
and you were like, this is so
perfect.
Sweet. And you said, please never do this again.
Well, yes, they were gone immediately.
So that's not the answer? I
was gonna say chocolate chip cookies.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. So
I have no self-control. Like I will eat them even with a stomach ache. 12th cookie, and I'm like, do it anyway. Yeah. They disappear. My medical assistant cooked or baked cookies for me once to take home. None of them came home.
Wow.
And when I say once, this was like last month. I'm not even exaggerating. Food that you can't keep your paws off.
Yeah, I saw you eat cookies once. And I swear to God, it was like...
Are you talking about for my birthday? When you ordered me like the big ones from Insomnia?
Yeah, you were eating them like... It's like when you get pulled over and you have a bunch of weed and you're just like...
I was not. Did I really?
No, you did not. You ate a bunch. No, it wasn't that night. I ordered you for Insomnia cookies.
I know. That's what I said. Is that the ones we're talking about?
No, it was like these little containers of cookies from the grocery store.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, those ones I ran a train on.
I thought you were trying to break a record to say when you get in your mouth at once. I thought, hey, I'd love to break a world record.
I like cookies.
Did you ever try to break a world record? Besides the cookie one?
You're making me feel bad.
No, you eat very little. And you have great self-control. Every once in a while, somebody brings over cinnamon bears and it's all bets are off.
Game over. Well, also, I like to not restrict myself over the holiday. Christmas holiday.
Yeah.
Eat whatever I want. I go crazy.
Christmas through Christmas. I have no rules. What do you think mine is? This is a good...
Chocolate bars and almond butter.
So that's an answer, but I have those and did not eat them last night. I did search for them and it was because I could not find them. But I have a little bit of self-control. It's a good guess.
Nuts.
But I talked to one of your doctor friends today. Nuts is the answer. Talked to one of your doctor friends and we're going deep keto. I'd like to have Josh on to talk about keto because he said some very interesting stuff. And we were talking about how nuts are a great source of omega-6s, but how that could be dangerous because our diet is now so heavy in 6s. And he was saying, if I have nuts at my house, it's all bets are off and it's bad. And I go, dude, I'm like, not only, I don't know the omega-6 thing. He said a bunch of doctor words and I was like, I believe you. Once I was at Barnes & Noble and there was a 500-page book called Omega-3 Fatty Acids and Why You Should, it's called like fish oils and why you should eat them. I go, I believe you. I'll eat them. I'm not reading that 500-page book. I go, you got me. I'm sure there's some stuff in there. So he started saying doctor words. I was already in. I don't even care what the words are. I go, the doctor's telling me to not eat as many. We're also talking
Why
about...
do you listen to that doctor and not this doctor?
What?
I assumed really quickly you'd be like, I do. And you're like, well.
I listen to you. Mm-hmm. I listen to you all the time. I've gotten into much better habits because of you, like putting the whatever pill in the correct bottle.
Oh, pudding.
But anyway, pistachio specifically, I can't deal with it once it's open. It's closed right now. There's a bag in the kitchen, which I made that mistake when I ordered it. I made this mistake when I ordered it by ordering it, but once they're open, there's nothing I can do.
So you have very good self-control when you intermittently fast, right? So a lot of people have a hard time doing that, where you have no breakfast, no snacks, no lunch, no snacks, sometimes no dinner, no snacks, and then you'll eat like after your show at like 10 p.m.
Yeah.
So you have very good self-control. However, how many little chocolate candies did you eat one day in Fairbanks this week?
Like close to 100.
And I was asleep or I was somewhere else. I didn't see. And you like fessed up and you're like, do you want to see? And like almost to rid your conscience of anything like heavy, you were like, come here. No, really, come here. And you're digging through their trash. Like, here's another 10 Raptors. Here's 20.
I stress 8.
It was like the whole bag.
I have 2 quick health thoughts.
Oh, yes.
Number 1, nuts bad because of the omega-6 reason. But also, if you're trying to lose weight, the satiability... the satiation quotient,
oh my gosh,
satisfaction. I don't think it's worth it. The risk reward is not worth it. Like the amount of nuts and how dense the calories are, you cannot lose weight if you're eating pistachios.
I think we could have an entire podcast on serving sizes and how misleading foods are, especially in America, where you think that you look at the label really fast. And you're like, oh, that's not that bad. And it's this tiny little bag of chips and it's like 1 serving, but there's 4 in this. And you're like, how? Like they do it, I feel like intentionally so that people will just look at the back and be like, oh, it's not that bad, and not see that they need to quadruple it. Nuts are very dense. So you're right.
Pringles doesn't say this whole thing. Like they're acting like we're going to give 2 to everybody.
Actually, fun fact about Pringles. Do you know it also can't say potato chips because it doesn't have enough potato content in it to call itself a potato chip?
Is that really true?
It's a food source. Yeah.
Oh, it's like cheese food when you buy the cheese slices?
Yeah. Yuck.
Son of a bitch. I had one more thought. So the nuts, be careful.
Okay, I think that's a fact about Pringles. I haven't verified it with the FDA, but I'm pretty sure. I heard this about
Kentucky Fried Chicken once, and I told a bunch of people, and it turned out it wasn't true. I told everybody KFC was only called that because they couldn't say the word chicken, and then like years later, someone was like, "Hey, they just invented Google, and you've been lying to us, and we've been spreading around these rumors." We'll look up Pringles. Could easily be.
I think it is. All right, what was
You're from Idaho. You would know.
That would I know. It's a fake potato. Get out of my state.
I saw a license plate today, and it said Idaho, and it said something like "good at potatoes." Is that what it said?
How would a license plate have that many characters?
Underneath it, it was like the saying of the
famous potatoes.
Famous potatoes.
Yeah.
Famous potatoes.
We have a great license plate. It's red, white, and blue. Red is the sunrise or sunset. White is like sky. Oh no, and then blue is the mountains below it.
Oh yeah, you guys do it. I dated a stripper once who had borderline famous melons.
Come on.
Seriously, like they had been.
What part of this seems appropriate to say to your fiancé?
The melons.
Jerk.
The melons part.
Jamie.
So, I intermittent fast. I think intermittent fasting, one or the other. I think we hear all the advantages of intermittent fasting. You hear about metabolism, you hear about longevity. You know what my favorite one is?
What?
Is that you eat less calories because of your eating window. Volume of eating, if you cut it down, is the simplest kind of fun way to think like, wow, if I eat all that stuff within those hours, I feel like that volume of eating is what helps me the most. And I intermittently fast. I'm not like, there's some people that are very extreme. Have you ever heard of like Gandhi? He would intermittently fast, and then when he would accomplish his goal, he would then eat again. And ripped. Okay? Shredded.
Stop it.
But
Stop.
keto is very interesting. We should have Josh on talk about keto because
We should bring him on. He has a lot, but there's mixed reviews. I mean, you will have cardiologists who absolutely abhor it because of, well, don't shrug.
well, I know what you're going to say.
Those are board certified physicians who have studied a lot of lipophilic profiles. That
Who hasn't? Oh, more meat. Oh, it's so much meat. It's hard on your heart. Is that what it is?
no, not meat, but
What?
okay.
Nuts, meat, high fat.
High like trans fats,
But
like dangerous fats.
okay, but you could
Fats
eliminate
like omega-3s, essential fatty acids, avocado, fish.
you could eliminate trans fats if you did keto. If you did keto correctly, couldn't you? If you got rid of all your, if you did it really clean. Some people cheat. They do shitty keto, and I'm against that.
Well, I think the hard one is when you're doing like all the butter and the ghee, and you're getting a very high fat content. Twofold. One, cardiologists really struggle with what it does. It's very difficult to find a cardiologist who is on board, but you'll find some. But two, a lot of people have GI side effects. Hardcore. You can have acute cholecystitis, so your gallbladder will flare, and people have to have surgery.
From eating keto?
Yeah,
carnivore?
So if you have way too much fat, your gallbladder, do you know what your gallbladder does?
The gallbladder filters your what it does is as fats come in, your gallbladder's like, oh, that's a good fat, I'll keep it. And bad fats, it's like, hey, get that out of here, and it shoots it to your asshole tunnel.
To your asshole tunnel?
I should have just said I don't know. That was repetitive. I should have said one or the other. To your tunnel.
Oh my gosh.
What does the gallbladder do?
It stores bile. And bile essentially...
I was way off.
Well, no, you weren't, because it does have to do with fat. So bile, think of it as like a Pac-Man. It kind of like surrounds or engulfs a fat particle and helps your body absorb, break it down, do what it needs to do, and rid it. And so if you didn't have bile, it's very difficult to eliminate fatty products. When you have a lot of fat in your diet, your gallbladder's like, oh crap, and it has to like pump out all of that excess to try to combat that. So people who start keto, you have like the keto flu.
Yeah.
People feel really sick, almost like myalgias, aches and pains, like they have a flu. Well, your gallbladder's working overtime, so a lot of people will struggle with right upper quadrant pain, colicky out of nowhere, and then they're like, and sometimes if you overdo it on the fat, you have to have your gallbladder removed because it starts to spasm and gets inflamed, and it's very painful.
Wow, they can't clean it out, put it back in, it's over?
Also, depending on how you're doing with your diet, keto in general is supposed to lower cholesterol. Granted, your blood levels rise, but usually your body content of cholesterol lowers, right, in the walls and linings and such. Problem is, the number one reason that we'll see, well, not one of the reasons that we'll see gallstones is from cholesterol.
Cholesterol is a deep topic.
But you have to be cautious because you can have an obstruction if you get a big stone or a problem.
Right.
It affects your pancreas, gallbladder, bad stuff. Anyway, it's not your asshole tunnel. That's a bad answer.
My friends used to tell me I had the biggest stones of all of us. They'd be like, this dude has not just one big stone, but a pair of... Is it different? I think it's
gigantic calculi.
Yeah.
That's the doctor word.
We could go deep. We go deep and wide on cholesterol. There's so much. I think that keto, though, also, there's so many varieties. It's hard to talk about. And also, any of your carnivores or ketos, you could even throw a vegetarian into this. By choosing a diet, you sort of, by side effect, might get rid of a bunch of processed foods.
Exactly.
Like whatever diet you do.
That's the key that I have when I have someone struggling with dietary constrictions and confinement and wondering what one's the best for them. Obviously, we know high protein, low carbohydrate, low sugar in general works for most people. Eliminate the bad fats. But it's difficult to do because it's so ingrained in our culture, especially in American diets, to have so much crap. But the processed stuff is everywhere. So if you go on a specific diet, doesn't matter what, you're right. You're usually eliminating the stuff that's on the shelves that's going to last for like 1,000 years.
Yeah.
So much better for you to have whole, unprocessed food. right? So that's where you have the variations of vegetarian, vegan, carnivore, keto. Mediterranean diet has had a wonderful outcome in a lot of patients. And that's a high grain diet usually compared to keto. But you're getting rid of the stuff that's in bags, and you're getting rid of fast food. You're getting rid of the shit.
This one time, this is true. Someone came over to my house, and COVID had just sort of started, and they came over to my house and they looked in my pantry, and I had 100, I believe I had 4 cases of sardines.
Gross.
6 cases of beef sticks, and then I had a bunch of pistachios. I had a bunch of cashews and something else, and they go, dude, you're really taking this COVID thing seriously. And I go, what?
It's my life every day.
That's what I always have. I was prepared. I'm prepared for the end of the world at all times and for COVID. That's just what I eat.
Do you remember when you first started dating me and you would slurp sardines in secret? And you told me that when we were together, you'd never eat one?
I quit sardines and cigars because of you, because I love you.
I quit other dicks.
Wow. Okay. I feel like mine was easier to do. I know that was hard. Wow. I'm just clip it. Checking the timestamp for Instagram.
Would you call it cold turkey?
15 minutes. We could probably stop there if you want. That was a good closer.
You can't come up with a pun on quitting dicks cold turkey.
I'm giving it to you. I'm giving it all to you. I'm giving you the glory. I'm not trying to compete. I thought it was a very funny line, and I just wanted to let you bask in how funny that was.
I enjoyed it. It's fun making a comedian chuckle.
Yeah.
You're not chortling.
I'm not funny today.
Oh.
Having one of those days. Wish I could be a doctor and we could switch roles, but I just can't.
What?
I'm having a definitely not funny day.
You feel like being serious?
No, I feel like then I could be contributing to this podcast.
Oh.
And today I don't feel fun. Sometimes you wake up, you don't feel funny. That's what's happening to me today. And I'm here anyway, moving it along. But you did a great job and you brought it.
Oh, thanks. I try to be consistent.
Before we go.
What?
And we can edit this out if you want to. But I'm doing Gutfeld the other day. I'm about to go in studio. And I'm standing next to Kat, my friend Kat. And we're about to go out. Like, it's time to go.
Oh.
Got the jokes ready and everything. It's time to start. And my phone goes bloop. And I go, oh, I got to silence my phone. And I look down and there's a text from Erica. And no text from me. She's not responding to a text. There's no prelude to this text. And it said something along the lines of, just pulled a hairball out of a vagina. How's your day going? And so I showed it to Kat and I go, these are the texts I get now that I'm marrying a doctor. And I wrote you back, I think, and I go, I need more information, but not right now. We're about to go on the air.
Did you have that like in your head for a while when you were filming? Were you looking at Greg and just thinking hairball vagina?
Kat made me laugh so hard. She goes,
I can't focus.
She goes, Kat was so funny. She looks at it and she looks at me and she goes, how could that possibly happen? I don't know if you know this, but I have a vagina and I'm not sure how that could possibly happen. And then I texted her later that night and I was like, you're not going to like the answer. It has to do with
bad stuff.
Not a lot of grooming.
Well, that's not even the grossest thing that I've done as a doctor.
I can't
Don't
imagine.
worry, I'm not going to go there. Hey, Josh had a good story today.
We shouldn't talk.
We don't have to talk about that. But you know what I think is interesting?
It was
how
awful.
quickly I jumped to your defense and I was like, stop. He's not like us. Because I think what you have to remember is in your career, in whatever profession you choose, you get very accustomed to what you're doing.
Feces was involved. There was a finger. There's an unclean man. It was just...
No, we're people too. We still find stuff to be gross, right? I'm not like a robot.
But he came in and was just like, and I had this on my finger and I did this and I was like, holy...
And hairballs, that's what we do. I think it's interesting because you have to be sensitive of your audience in that regard, because especially around dinner time, when a group of my friends, if we're all doctors, are having dinner and one person's dating one of us and isn't a physician, usually they don't eat the dinner.
And you're not trying to... What I like is no one's trying to show off or be funny. This was a very matter of fact. He came in and said, this is what happened. It wasn't like a bit or something. It had just happened. It wasn't like, oh, I'm trying to be funny. And I was just like, wow, this is crazy. You know,
well, and the other thing is too, we're not trying to be mean. I'm not making fun of that patient. I just was honestly perplexed that a hairball could come out of that orifice. Genuinely,
Yeah.
I've never seen that before. It wasn't like, oh, and making fun of him crazy, but it's like, oh my God, did you see what I did? Medicine a lot of times is like, the body is fascinating. Oh my God, guess what I did? And it's fun to share stories like that of stuff that you've never heard of. I think it's cool.
fun's a good one. You know, comedians have a we have a
what's
thing
your
where
equivalent?
Our equivalent is we tell incredibly borderline offensive jokes to regular people, not realizing that they don't understand that, like, this is like, I'll give you a perfect example.
You like to see people uncomfortable with your jokes?
Well, like I'll give you an example. My friend, he's a comedian, and he became a writer, and he lives in a really nice neighborhood, and so he has a bunch of neighbors who are just neighbors in a nice gated community. And he's a comedian, surrounded by accountants and doctors and other civilians, as they say. And he went to his school. His daughter's school was having an auction.
Oh boy.
And you put up a paddle if you want to buy a thing. And he said the school is like $20,000 a year. That's what they pay for just tuition. And now
Yikes.
they want him to go in and buy stuff at an auction, and they want more money, right? So my friend is sitting next to one of his neighbors, and his neighbor goes like, man, it's crazy they charge us so much money, and then we got to bid on stuff. He goes, are you gonna bid on anything? And my friend says, the paddle's sitting right there, and my friend says, let me put it to you this way. If I committed a double murder and they found that paddle next to the bodies, there would not be enough DNA to track me down. Which is really funny, right? And his friend was just like, the fuck are you saying? But that's like a comedian's joke to talk about murders and DNA and stuff. That was a very funny joke. But it's one of those things, that's our equivalent. That's the finger in the butthole.
In the ass tunnel.
In the ass tunnel. Well, this is Afraid to Ask. This is the new setup. I liked it. I don't know if it's recording or not. We're going to find out.
Well, it was fun.
It was fun.
Ass tunnels and quitting dick cold turkey.
We didn't get to anything. We were supposed to talk about... You gave a lecture about menopause.
Hormone replacement therapy.
I'll be honest with you. I don't think menopause is a good name because you feel like it's going to start up again. You go, menopaused, starting up again. But it can take 7 years or some to 15 years.
You listened.
Just to
you
that
were
part.
one of two men in the entire audience. I was very proud of you.
Yeah.
Thank you for your support.
Maybe we'll talk about... I know a lot of guys are dying to hear about menopause and what you can do.
Oh, stop it.
To
Is
help.
it an important topic? Because we talked a lot about sex.
We did talk about sex. Talked a lot about dry vaginas and what could help or hurt. And
But honestly, we should talk about this. I'm excited to talk about it because I think, well, yeah, because you have to bring light to a taboo topic.
you have to bring lubrication.
If nobody wants to have sex because it hurts, it affects both partners, right? You could potentially save a marriage by just helping someone with hormonal balance. Why wouldn't you?
That's true.
So it is a topic that I think a lot of men would find interesting.
I'd love to talk about it, and I found the talk very interesting, and there are things that I think guys would like to hear about. I don't think they care about, maybe they don't think they care about menopause, because it seems like...
Yes, they do. Hot flashes at nighttime, their wife waking up constantly overnight. I hear a lot of the times men arguing who wakes who up more. He snores, or she's like shaking the sheets off and then pulling the covers up, or changing the temperature of the thermostat all night long.
Really?
It affects their sleep cycles. Oh yeah, it's a big thing. Vaginal dryness affects both partners. Decreased libido affects both partners. Mood fluctuations affect both partners. Coming in hot, Jamie.
Okay. Point taken. Next time on Afraid to Ask, we'll dive right into that. I'm not going to say it. Dry vagina. We'll use lubrication. We will talk about things that guys will want to know too. That's I'm not going to say anything else. Just, I feel like everybody should have... I have a story, but I don't want to... You went to a neighbor's. I just feel like if you have a big thing of lube, you should put it in an end table. Let's put it away. I'm just saying. We went to someone's house, and there was I can only describe it as a Costco lubrication. It seems like, when you go to Costco and you go, wow, I'm buying soy sauce for the rest of my life. Mm-hmm. It seemed like it was one of the, it had an industrial,
It did. At first I thought it was like hand sanitizer because it was clear, but then the word anal was very largely printed on the side.
Yes, press it.
So you knew.
It said put anal here. And then you put it there. And, but anyway, saving money, buy it in bulk. Next time on Afraid to Ask, we'll get into some stuff.
Ugh.
Coming up on the next episode of Afraid to Ask.
If Jason Momoa was your massage therapist and you had a hard-on, I would have fully encouraged it.
I don't know who that is.
Yes, you do.
Is he Aquaman?
Yeah.
Fuck.
Huge guy. That's what I'm saying. Like, it'd be funny if it was a huge guy giving you a rub down and you were like, you rolled over and you had a boner. Because I know you would have been mortified.
But then why would it be different if it's
Because it's not sexual for you if a guy does it because you're heterosexual. If a woman does it and you have a hard on, it makes me think, are you thinking about me?
Right.
Are you thinking about her? Did she get too close? Is she into you? This is our couple's massage. Pause off, lady.
Yeah.
And
Did
then
yours?
I have to be mad at you.
I thought this lady was very
I didn't get
professional.
turned on when I was getting...
I did not get turned on. I thought it was
You
a little...
just said you had a moment.
I thought it was a little bit unprofessional when she got under the covers with me. And I did not know that was part of it.
Did you did take your underwear off, right? At the last minute? You did. I think I saw your penis.
I did. I didn't want to.
You were very hesitant.
Because we're
you
in
told
there,
me
I
if
did.
it was not me,
Do you know why I was hesitant?
Keep your underwear on.
Do you know why I was hesitant?
Because of a hard on?
Yeah.